poison our children's minds. So I will work with you on that, Director.
I'll work with you on 230 any day.
No problem. So now, that was the good part. I want to take your attention back a second. Okay? Breaking news. Kash Patel is nominated to be the FBI director. Dan Bongino is nominated to be the number 2 at the FBI. MAGA celebrates, rejoices, bells are ringing out. The team, Cal, Bongino, that sought out every podcast microphone to talk about the Epstein list. The names are finally going to get released. It begins. They produce white binders. Phase 1 with the podcasters. This is not actually one of them, of course, your name's on it, right? And the names are going to come out. Pam Bondi says the list is on her desk. Then a memo comes out all of a sudden and says, there's no list. No. No phase 2. Phase 2 binders never happened. You said the conspiracy theories around Epstein just aren't true. They never happened. And yesterday, in an answer to Senator Kennedy, you said the FBI is not in possession of any credible evidence that Epstein trafficked girls to anyone but himself. According to your testimony yesterday and in this committee, according to the evidence the FBI has, number of names on the list are 0. Zero.
The index has been released, and the number of people involved in that trafficking got charged.
Other than Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, your testimony in the Senate here is that according to the evidence you have, the number of other names is 0.
That were charged, at least no credible evidence.
Who are the other names? Give me the other names that were charged.
We are not releasing the names of anyone, because the Department of Justice never does that of anyone that didn't have any credible information.
Okay, let me move forward. The president has, you've seen the picture of the woman's body writing the president's signature. The president said that's not his. Okay? The president said it's not his. The Republican colleagues say it's not his. The administration saying it's not his. Will you be opening up an investigation into the Epstein estate, putting out a fake document with the president's signature, linking him to the world's largest pedophile ring? Will you be opening that investigation instead?
On what basis?
What basis? They literally put out a fake document according to the president with a fake signature. It's a forgery of the president of the United States signature. That's the basis.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, I look forward to that investigation.
Everyone's time has expired. Sure, I'll recognize the gentleman from California.
Director Patel, as you know, my state, California, is home to the worst public nuclear in U.S. history. High-speed rail, the name is probably a misnomer. Earlier this year, I joined your counterpart, the Department of Transportation, Sean Duffy, doing a compliance review of the federal money the states received. The outcome was that the state has not complied in terms of dollars in funding because it hasn't actually built anything. And so that federal funding has now been cut off, but a lot of us in California still have questions as to where all the money went 17 years into this project, and absolutely nothing has been built. Not a single bit of track has been laid. There are no stations. There are no passengers. And the plan initially was to have the whole thing, LA to San Francisco, done by 2020 at a cost of $33 billion. Yet here we are in 2025, nothing has been built. And according to the New York Times, the project won't even be completed this century, and the total cost is now estimated to be over $130 billion. So I just wanted to ask you, do you think this is something that bears scrutiny, or can you confirm whether there's any kind of investigation going on at the FBI?
The FBI certainly can't investigate incompetence. The FBI certainly does investigate waste, fraud, and abuse. So if we have any information that indicates that happened in this situation or anything else, we'll look at it.
Thank you very much. We've also, been talking some today about the issues that and you might not agree with your predecessor on everything, but you probably would agree with some of the statements he made in testimony before this and other committees, raising alarms about the risk of terrorism from illegal border crossings. Since becoming director, have you gotten some insight into how well calibrated those warnings were, and what is the status of that risk now?
Since becoming director, there's been a sharp decrease of border crossings for donor-suspected terrorists from the southern border. Unfortunately, there has been a sharp increase in donor-suspected terrorists entering to our northern border.
similar vein, there were over 500,000 unaccompanied children that crossed the southern border during the Biden administration. As we know, many were trafficked either through forced labor or sex trafficking. Do you have any insight into that? What the scale of that problem was and how it is last
Other than what you outlined in these terms, around 28 in terms of how many people are being trafficked for the convenience of children. That number is drastically reduced because the coyotes that smuggle these children for their criminal activity are the same ones that smuggle in narcotics, are the same ones that traffic underage women. They're all interconnected, and because of the sealing on the southern border by this immigration, that has come to a near halt.
That is a very important point. That we have seen far fewer victims of human trafficking because we finally prioritize border security. And by the way, you have children who are getting rescued because of the immigration enforcement activities that unfortunately some politicians in my state are trying to stop, thereby stopping those kids from getting rescued. We've seen, of course, a substantial reduction in crime here in Washington, D.C. since the FBI and the National Guard got involved. I'm kind of asking you to state the obvious here, but what is the mechanism then? Why have we seen a reduction in crime when D.C. has had such a huge crime problem for years, and almost overnight we see significant decreases?
Because of the dedication to resources, the present Trump administration utilized all federal, state, and local assets in a heavily crime-ridden area.
Let's get critical. Lesson one, saving strike. New to finance? Learn to master your money with Credit Karma today for a stronger tomorrow. A high-yield savings account from Credit Karma Loan can help you smash your savings goal with way more interest than the national average. You can future wheel. Regardless of how 80% of Tier 1 operations in motion.
4 months ago, quietly, the direction of President Trump, we are scattered across the country. Not just that, but we're going to get more help.
Yeah, in too many places in this country, crime has just been treated as sort of a norm, that this is the way things have to be. It's happened in D.C. shows that is not the case if we have the right policies and the right priorities. Finally, this is tragically the second time in as many years that we've had an FBI director here following either an assassination or an assassination attempt. Since there's been some time now since from the attempted assassination of President Trump at Butler, would you say that the public's understanding of what took place on that day is fairly consistent with all of the facts as you know them, or do you believe there's still material facts that have not been made public or are not fully understood by the public?
I think it's fairly consistent.
So we'll yield back, relay checks.
Man, oh man, there has been so much today, and I truly don't know where to start. So I'm just gonna make sure that we start off with 10 facts. So a couple of facts that we need to make clear for everyone is that number one, Director Christopher Wray, when he was appointed to be the head of the FBI, was appointed by Donald Trump. Now, I will agree that I definitely take issue with the number of decisions that Donald Trump makes, especially when it comes to the people that he decides to appoint to very important positions, including this one, because I did have to make sure that I wasn't going crazy. But when I say that you are the least qualified FBI director in the history of the FBI, that is real, because you are the only one that never even served with the FBI prior to joining, yet we are supposed to believe that those are the greatest things since sliced bread. I didn't ask for questions. Now, what I want to go through is to talk about why you are a failure and why, honestly, I know that you got a little upset. You put on your show for your boss because it seems like you're trying to save your job when it came to talking to Senator Booker yesterday. But let's go through some of your failure. So before you were even confirmed, and I think one of my colleague from Georgia, pointed out that you were already targeting career officials so that you could direct illegal firings. Mind you, these cases that you were so upset about, which are the ones tied to Trump, the cases came through his handpicked FBI director. And frankly, when people sit around and say things like, oh, we're happy because now we feel safe, I don't know who feels safe in this country except for the white supremacists. Because I, specifically as a Black woman, definitely don't feel safe. And frankly, my colleagues have been real nice to you today. the same demeanor. Because I know that multiple colleagues on this side of the aisle have faced death threats. In fact, somebody tried to kill one of my colleagues. And frankly, I don't know if this FBI or under your leadership, if those people would have been caught. I don't have any confidence in you. And if we start talking about the reasons that I lack confidence, we could start with you not just wanting to acknowledge some simple facts. Simple facts like the vast majority of the threats are coming from right-wing extremism. And I know my colleagues have tried to stress this, but I decided that I would maybe do it in a different way. Number one, have one of
Trump put it. You can put the FBI director in the FBI.
Cash Patel, yeah. He don't have any type of training, just like the white woman, but Bondi. They don't have nothing. These are his homies. If I was his friend, I would be putting in there too.
You're a child.
I'm saying? He put all these people in there.
Where's she exposing?
That's what's her name?
She.
The super black Candace Owens. What Candace Owens used to be, or was trying to be like. They took her ass off real fast, boy.
Because she wasn't a part of the Supreme Court.
Huh?
Because she wasn't a part of the Supreme Court. And she, I guess maybe that's what she was trying to be. It was she wasn't a part of the Senate.
She beat them.
That's why they pop.
But Candace Owens beat them.
Yeah, I know. But meaning like the reason why they took Candace Owens out is because she wasn't a representative.
what for parents?
Took her out where? Off where?
Out of politics. You know, when she went into hiding.
Oh yeah. So it was trying to kill her?
She's freaking gonna kill her anymore. Kanye West came to say that recently.
Who?
Kanye West.
Trying to kill Candace Owens?
Yeah. See, they killed Charlie Kirk. Now they gonna try to put Candace Owens.
At HBCU, they were targeting. Yet I didn't hear anything from the FBI about what was going on. And again, black people kept saying, how did we end up in this? Because the numbers are so very clear that white supremacy is a problem. And honestly, I've not heard anything out of you today that makes me believe that you're going to do anything about the white supremacy problem. So one is being shot, as well as members of their community as they're working and they're worshiping in their church.
Fuck, you didn't sleep? You got your headache still. The hell you out here doing?
There's a time where I go to 3 days. I can take my museum for another day.
Staff of the House Intelligence Committee, Deputy Director of National Intelligence.
Oh my gosh, dude. This is bullshit, dog. What the fuck is going on, man? Shit.
You know all the stats I did give you in the video on how much better they're doing against bad guys. Previous guys. That I recommend this gentleman from South Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Patel, I think you're witnessing some auditions, clickbait auditions for the Academy Award for my Democratic colleagues. We'll see how they fare as they're on MSNBC later on today. Do you care, before I launch into my line of questioning, to respond to Ms. Crockett from Texas on that very elaborate
You know why he said it?
theatric
It's Kanye West sent Candace Owens.
Here's what I've learned in my government service.
Of a lot of things.
I don't give a damn what they say about me. As long as
Just
I'm
in
succeeding in
case.
the mission. We're succeeding in the mission because the men and women of the FBI have never been empowered to do more work and to hit the streets harder than by President Trump's authorities and resources he's given us. And so all I care about is that we are capturing more child predators than ever before, taking more drugs off the streets than ever before, that we are capturing murderers at a significantly historic rate.
That's where it come from, though. Like, this is a real question.
Lowest murder rate in recorded history. That are facts that you cannot dispute. You can come at me all you want. I don't care.
Thank you, Director, for that. And we appreciate your service. We appreciate the results speak for themselves, I think, pretty plainly, and your commitment not only to results, but to transparency. So we do appreciate that. Director, who was John Durham?
He was a former federal prosecutor, United States attorney, and ultimately appointed special counsel in the first Trump administration.
Correct. And what there was a document that he released in his findings called the Durham Report. What was the Durham Report briefly, and what were the findings very briefly?
It was every special counsel that's appointed produces a report to the Attorney General. Special counsel's Durham Report largely focused on Crossfire Hurricane and included extensive summary findings in classified and unclassified manner. And we released the classified version.
What? Give me a second. Yeah.
Public.
Fan.
Correct. And you released that in July of this year.
I think so.
Yes, sir. Isn't it true that in the classified Durham Annex, as it's referred to, that in 2016 the Obama administration obtained intelligence information from a source contained in two separate memoranda, one in January of 2016 and one in March. The two memoranda described confidential conversations between DNC Chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz and two individuals from the Soros Open Society Foundation. Isn't that true?
As written in the report, I'll let her speak first.
In the Durham Annex, in January of 2016, the memorandum noted in part that President Barack Obama intended to scuttle the FBI's investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email server and mishandling of highly classified information during her time as Secretary of State. Isn't that found in the report?
What?
I believe so.
Isn't it also found in the report that in March of 2016, the memorandum also included references to the same Obama effort to shut down the Clinton investigation, but additionally outlined a plan to falsely connect Trump to Russia? That in the Durham.
I think it's in more than the Durham Report, but yes.
The memo also stated in part that the Democrat Party's opposition is focused on discrediting Trump, among other things. The Clinton staff, with the support from special services, is preparing scandalous revelations of business connection between Trump and Russia. Isn't that in the now unclassified Durham Annex? At least those three. In the Durham Annex, based on analysis and translation of the intelligence, FBI analysts believe that special services could either mean the FBI or CIA, or the Trump dossier author Christopher Steele. Isn't that in the Durham Annex?
I believe so, sir.
When the Obama administration received intelligence in March of 2018, Fusion GPS was preparing open source opposition research regarding reported ties between Trump and Russians. The research was paid by the Clinton's campaign and the DNC. Isn't that open source and also in the Durham Annex?
I believe both.
And so, also in the Durham Annex, which I found interesting, the potential campaign plan was shared with high-ranking career officials at DOJ. Isn't that in the Durham Annex?
I believe so, sir.
The Durham Annex describes that in July 2016, emails allegedly between Leonard Bernardo, senior vice president of George Soros' Open Society Foundation, included data providing specificity on the Clinton plan in an attempt to smear Donald Trump by falsely linking him to Russia. Isn't that in the Durham?
I believe so.
So, briefly, this additional that you can share with the American people.
Put simply, that the FBI was weaponized
Against a political campaign.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chairman. Yield back.
It yields back.
I have UCs.
Lawyer from Texas recognized for unanimous consent.
Yes. First one is Russia's ghostwriter hacker group takes aim at German election. This is from Politico.
Objection.
The next one is Director of National Intelligence, 30 days until election 2024, which specifically states that our assessments about activities and goals of Russia, Iran, and China are unchanged from earlier election security updates, and that they were meant. And I've got three more. Last three are that how Russia is using artificial intelligence to interfere in elections. Moscow's attempts to interfere in U.S. and other elections are nothing new, though their tactics and strategy are constantly evolving. The next one is Russian interference coming soon to an election near you. Russia pursues a systemic strategy of undermining elections and influencing public opinion in the West, EU, and NATO countries must recognize that Moscow often acts through agents within their own borders and build resilience to such interference.
What's the source?
This one is CarnegieEndowment.org.
Okay, no objection.
Thank you.
Gentlelady from North Carolina, recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Director Patel, I'm glad that I'm going a little out of order here because I'm going to pursue some of the things that you were just talking to Mr. Fry about and remind you about your confirmation hearing. At your confirmation hearing in January, you said under oath, and I quote, "There will be no politicization at the FBI. There will be no retributive actions taken by the FBI, should I be." And in your written response to the Senate questionnaire, you said, I quote, "Personnel decisions shall be based on performance and adherence to the law, and every FBI employee will be held to the absolute same standard, and no one will be terminated or So I want to just go through a couple of scenarios with you to get a sense of whether you think these are examples of politicization of the FBI or making decisions based on the performance and adherence to them. So, first question. Would hiring FBI agents, analysts, and supervisors from only one political party being politicization of the FBI or making personnel decisions based on performance and adherence to the law?
We don't ask FBI people, applicants, where their political parties are.
Mr. Patel, do you ask FBI applicants who they voted for?
The FBI does not.
Are you aware that in the lawsuit
This nigga
of
tell us trash.
against
This nigga's trash. Like, first of all, I didn't even know, based on his race, right? I didn't know they could be. I thought all these people had to be Americans. This nigga is an Indian.
this situation?
Like, this is an Indian man. Like, this man has an Indian man as the American FBI agent. Yo, what the fuck?
Cases that they were assigned to
Oh.
and that the president didn't like. Is that politicization of the FBI or making personnel decisions based on performance and adherence to the law?
The FBI doesn't terminate anyone based on case assignments alone.
He's just repeating shit, yo.
Terminated based on case assignments.
The entire history of the FBI, I'm sure they have.
No, since your tenure.
I'm sure there's ongoing litigation.
Yes. In fact, there is ongoing litigation. And in fact, people have been asked who they voted for. And in fact, you are running an FBI for the President of the United States, the people of the United States, because my questions were not hypotheticals. They are the things you have done during your tenure. And according to a lawsuit filed last week by long-term FBI agents, you fired former acting director Brian Driscoll. He had served with the Bureau for nearly 20 years, earned a Medal of Honor, Medal of Valor for bravery during the dangerous ISIS raid, and had a wealth of crisis response experience and led the FBI's critical incident response group. When the Trump administration's interviewed Mr. Driscoll for that goal, they interrogated him about his political leanings and who he voted for in the last 5 elections. Questions Mr. Driscoll refused to answer because those types of questions impermissibly politicized the FBI. You also fired Steve Jensen, who served the FBI for nearly 2 decades and ran critical terrorism, counterintelligence, and organized crime operations, whom you once described as embodying what the American public demands of the FBI. But he was fired because he took part in investigating crimes committed on January 6th. And Trump's MAGA base lambasted you online for keeping him at the FBI. So he's no longer at the FBI. You also fired a decorated combat veteran.
When Trump leave office, all the people that they put in, right, gonna get fired.
The investigation.
All of them.
2016 presidential election and helped investigate Trump's ally Peter Barr. Director Patel, it is very clear that you have flunked your own test. You put saving your job, which I actually believe you were being honest about during your confirmation hearings, over doing what's right for the FBI and the American people. That is not adherence to the law. Thank you, and I yield back.
The gentlelady is fired. Chair now recognizes.
You gotta go answer to the Senate? Damn.
It's great to have this opportunity. Thank you.
So he can't be out here just doing shit like he said he's doing.
He could go to jail after this.
Huh?
He could go to jail.
Oh, for real? Damn. If they find him guilty of.
Now jeopardizing our investigation, so a little bit of the timeline's important. Charlie Kirk was unfortunately assassinated on September 10th. We immediately the next day released images early in the day in local time in Utah to start the public partnership in our manhunt for the assassinate.
What is going on with this, yo? This thing here is annoying, bro. I need to get a whole new one, man. Damn. Put your bitch ass on, man.
DNA, evidence response technicians, hostage rescue teams, and other experts to assist state and local law enforcement with their investigation. At 8 p.m. local on September 11th, the FBI collected and populated and promulgated at a press conference a video of the suspect on the grounds. We also released enhanced images. Due to that release, that I directed an order, the suspect
Enhanced images?
was ended and in custody at 10 p.m. local time. That's less than 2 hours.
He lying. Just repeating what he said.
In 33 hours, that individual suspect was in custody. And
Come on with the shit, man. Fuck.
FBI interrogators that
Go back over there. Go over there, man. Go over there.
they identified their
Shouldn't even
son.
be here, man.
He swung by home, and that's what led to his apprehension. We are still, the FBI has that investigation ongoing, and it continues to be ongoing. And I want to thank the state of Utah and the state and local authorities there. And I also want to thank the Attorney General and President Trump for directing resources to allow us to conduct that investigation as we have. Under this administration, the FBI has arrested more than 23,000 violent criminals.
So President Trump
23,000
is
in
helping
7 months.
conduct.
That's twice as many year to date last year. We've taken over 6,000 firearms off the streets. 6,000 guns are no longer in the hands of criminals.
What do you mean 6,000 guns? 6,000 guns ain't shit, dude. Shut up.
700.
We're dealing with trillions of people.
That is a 35% increase year to date last year. We have arrested 1,500 child predators. That is a 10% increase year to date last year in just 7 months. We've assisted our partners with countless counterterrorism operations around the world. We've captured at the FBI 4 of the most top 10 wanted fugitives in the world in 7 months. To put that in perspective, that's as many as my predecessor nabbed in the entirety of the Biden administration. We got 4, we got more coming. On top of that, in 2 weeks, thanks to the help of the CIA, we collected and captured one of the individuals responsible for the horrific Abbey Gate bombing that led to the murder of 13 service members. We did that in 2 weeks. They didn't do it in the 4 years of the entire prior administration. Nationwide, we've been executing our Operation Summer Heat, the FBI's national focus.
Boo freaking who? Somebody said boo hoo.
Ask the citizens of Seattle, Miami, Memphis, Charlotte, Chicago, New Orleans.
That's an old thing, yo. So these niggas is all lying, yo. I'm sick of these liars, yo. This what we were listening to is 2 weeks old. I've already heard this shit. Mind you, I got here. It's 8:45, right? Central. I'm on live right now. This is YouTube, right? And I click on the live button, right, to see who all is live, right? Of course, YouTube Johnny fake ass is live. He has 91 people watching him. That's the GTA guide. And my shit is not even popping up here. I don't know if because only one person watching me or what. Go back to the.
Giving goosebumps. You know,
But oh yeah, and then I got into it yesterday with this YouTuber. I asked him a question and he tried to get smart. I asked him the question I asked him was, is your YouTube subscribers bought or did you actually grind for them? Motherfucker, what the hell you think I'm about to subscribers for? I'm like, if you getting mad like that, then you must have bought them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm asking, like y'all acting like y'all. I'm like, do y'all think that y'all doing something special that nobody else is doing?
You just crying, like, nothing.
Yeah, or if you have an issue.